You out here dating men with anger problems. You out here dating women with insecurity problems. Those people ain't healthy. Sooner or later, they're going to self-destruct. And part of this self-destruction is going to be your destruction. I said you out here dating miserable ass men, black women, because he got money and a big stick. But he angry. He don't respect women. He's full of pain and hurt. And you think you just going to ignore that because he got the money and he got the body. Keep playing with your life. But this is what I want to say today. I want to talk to non-biological step parents. I want to talk to the non-biological step parents. I want to talk to the non-biological. If you are living with children that are not your own biological children, if you are the mother of biological children, if you are the mother of children that are not your biological children, if you are the father of children who are not your biological children, I need to holler at you for a minute. You cannot raise your stepchildren the way that you were raised if the way that you were raised was dysfunctional. Let me say this again. You cannot raise your stepchildren the way that you were raised if the way that you were raised was dysfunctional. When you settle down with an African king, ladies, when you settle down with an African queen, fellas, when you settle down, it is important that you evaluate the way you were raised. Because if you don't evaluate the way you were raised, you will bring those toxic parenting styles that you inherit from your biological parents, even though you didn't like the way you were raised. Even though you don't like the way your mother raised you, you don't like the way your father raised you, you don't like the way they treated you, you don't like the way your parents disciplined you, although you did not like it, it's the only system you know. The system you hate is the system that you were indoctrinated with. Did you hear that? The system you hate is the system you were indoctrinated with. So even though you don't like the way your father abused you, you will abuse your non-biological stepchildren. You will become your father. You will become the man you disliked. You will become your mother. You will become the woman you disliked if you don't stop and take an assessment of how the way you were raised is now poisoning your relationship with your stepchildren. The way you were raised is poisoning your relationship with your stepchildren. And let me tell you why the way you were raised is poisoning your relationship with your stepchildren. I'm about to break this down. If you strongly disagree, I'm going to block you because this is not for people like you. You've been a psychologist for how many years? 0. You've evaluated how many people clinically? 0. You've been a therapist for how many years? 0. So this is not for you to disagree. I'm an expert, not a YouTubian struggle streamer. I'm an expert, not a YouTubian struggle streamer. I'm an expert, not a YouTubian struggle streamer. So let me get into this. Let me get into this. Not on my live. You can't disagree when I'm talking expert information that you can't possibly disagree with because you and I don't have the same history. You're not a psychologist, so you have no basis to disagree. Now, One who disagrees is arguing that children should be abused. Thank you, Easy Money Forbes. Thank you, Easy Money Forbes. See, they so used to the YouTubian struggle streamers. They so used to the YouTubian struggle streamers that when they get an expert in the game, when they get Ephi Tunde the expert, when they get Ephi Tunde the expert, they don't know how to look at the melanin drip. Look at the melanin drip. Lord have mercy. Dark cashew dipped in chocolate is my skin complexion. Dark cashew dipped in chocolate is my skin complexion, ladies. Dark cashew dipped in chocolate. Now let me go on. When you become the parent to another person's children, when you become the parent to non-biological children, children whose conception you played no role in, you got to check yourself. Because these are not your biological children. You do not have the right to impose the dysfunctional child rearing practices that your parents use to bring you up. You do not have the right to impose the dysfunctional child rearing practices that your parents use to bring you up. You do not have the right to impose the dysfunctional child rearing practices that your parents use to bring you up. You don't have the right to impose that on another person's children. I want to be clear about this. And then you are a parental hypocrite because you say you don't like the way your father raised you, but you raising your stepchildren the same way you was raised. You say you don't like the way your mama raised you, but you raising your stepchildren the same way that you was raised. You a parental hypocrite. You a parent. How dare you say your father abused you and you abusing your stepson? How dare you say your mother abused you and you abusing your stepdaughter? Talk black to me, African family. Talk black to me, African family. Talk black to me, African family. And let me tell you why. You are repeating the same dysfunctional parenting practices on your children and on your stepchildren, because as Africans, we really don't believe in stepchildren. As Africans, we do not believe in stepchildren. As Africans, we really don't believe in stepchildren. All children are our children. Now, let me explain this. 3 reasons why, if you were abused, even though you don't like it, you will end up abusing your children or stepchildren. 3 reasons why, if you were abused and you didn't like it and you have been traumatized by child abuse, you're still likely to be a child abuser yourself. How can you be a child abuser if you didn't like being abused yourself? How does that happen? You hate what your mother did to you. You hate what your father did to you. You hate what your grandparents did to you. You hate what your foster parents did to you. You hate what your adoptive parents did to you. How is it that you became the same person whose abuse you hated? How is it you become the same person whose abuse you hated? You know how? 3 reasons. 3 ways you became the same person that you hated in your childhood house. You didn't like your father, but you became your father. You didn't like your mother, but you became your mother. I see a bunch of selfish ass Negro peons on the chat saying stupid things like, I see a bunch of selfish ass Negro peons in the chat saying selfish things like, I see a bunch of selfish ass Negro peons in the chat saying selfish things like, don't marry somebody who already has children. That's the most anti-African thing you can say when it comes to building a family. Don't marry somebody who has children. Don't date somebody who has children. Do you realize over 80% of adult Africans have children? Over 80% of adult Africans have children. Over 80% of adult Africans have children, and you telling people don't date somebody who has children, that means you ain't going to have much to choose from. That means you ain't going to have much to choose from. Don't date somebody who has children. That's some old selfish Negro peon ass gossip. Don't listen to them coons. Now, let me tell you the 3 reasons why you became the same parent you hated. 3 reasons you became the same parent whose child rearing practices you despised. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. See, any black man telling you not to date a woman with children is probably a snow bunny crisis victim. Any black man telling you not to date black women with children is probably a snow bunny crisis victim. Any Negro who tells you not to date black men with children must be a damn bunny hopper. Only a bunny hopper would say something like that. Only a bunny hopper would tell you not to date black women or black men with children. If a black woman tells you don't date a man with children, she's a damn bunny hopper. Only a bunny hopper would tell you not to date an African with children. So 3 reasons why. You are repeating the same dysfunctional lifestyle that you were raised in. 3 reasons why you are repeating the same dysfunctional lifestyle that you were raised in. Number 1, you didn't forgive your parents for abusing you. Number 1, you didn't forgive your parents for abusing you. Number 1, you didn't forgive your parents for abusing you. How does this work? How is it if you didn't forgive your parents for abusing you, you are likely to become an abuser? Let me break this down. Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? First of all, the best women I've dated had children. The best women I've dated had children. The women I dated who didn't have children, they weren't, some of them, not all of them, some of them was good, but some of them wasn't the most adequate women for me. I'm speaking for myself. The best women I've dated had children, so I don't believe in only date women without children. That's ridiculous. But listen to this. Listen to this. If you don't forgive your mother for abusing you, if you don't forgive your father for abusing you, if you don't forgive your stepmom, stepdad for abusing you, you are carrying the hatred in your heart. You are functioning at a low vibration level. Your frequency is the same as the person who abused you. See, when you don't forgive people, you are vibrating at the same level of the abuse. When you don't forgive people, you are vibrating at the same level as the abuse. So the reason abused children abuse their children is when you don't forgive your father or your mother for what they did to you, you reinvent them as yourself. You have to forgive to let go of the pain. You have to forgive to let go of the abuse. You have to forgive to let go of the anger. If you don't let go of the pain, if you don't let go of the anger, if you don't let go of the abuse, you will repeat it in your children and your stepchildren. Please understand, overstand, and understand. Please understand, overstand, and understand. Please understand, overstand, and understand that hurt people hurt people. And if you don't let go of the hurt, the only thing you have to give to your children is more hurt. I said hurt people hurt people. And if you don't let go of the hurt, you're going to hurt your children and your stepchildren. I said hurt people hurt people. And if you don't let go of the hurt, you are only going to hurt your children and your stepchildren. Never marry somebody holding a grudge against their parents. Never marry somebody holding a grudge against their parents. Never have children with somebody holding a grudge against their parents. Because guess who they're going to get their revenge on? Guess who they're going to get their revenge on? Guess who they're going to get their revenge on? You know who they're going to get their revenge on? Your children. Unconsciously, without even knowing it, they're going to abuse your children or their children. Unconsciously, without you even knowing it, they're going to abuse your children or their children. Because that hurt, that unconscious trauma, that hurt, that pain, that anger been festering your whole life because you never dealt with it. I said that hurt, that trauma, that pain, that anger been festering your whole life because you never dealt with it. And now you got children. Now you got stepchildren. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to raise them the same way you were raised because you haven't faced your trauma and your pain. This is why I tell you, and if a sisters only relationships and dating book is coming soon, ladies. The for sisters only relationships and dating book is coming soon, ladies. The for sisters only relationships and dating book is coming soon, ladies. This is why I tell men and women. This is why I tell black men and black women. Do not date or marry or have children with someone who is miserable and unhappy. But y'all don't do a spiritual assessment. Y'all only do a financial assessment. Y'all don't do a spiritual assessment on your potential partners. You only do a financial assessment. You do a fat ass assessment. You do a Shango stick assessment. You do a car assessment, a house assessment. You do a physical attractiveness assessment. Y'all don't do spiritual assessments. Y'all don't do emotional assessments. Y'all don't do psychological assessments. You better make sure you dating a healthy person. You wonder why these black women ended up stabbed up and shot up? She wasn't stabbed up and shot up because she cheated. He wasn't stabbed up and shot up because he cheated. She didn't end up stabbed up and shot up because she cheated. He didn't end stabbed up and shot up. You know why they ended up stabbed up and shot up? Because you was dealing with a miserable human being. You was dealing with a traumatized African who had childhood demons that they never faced. And the stone you threw at them was the last stone their unconscious could handle. Your murder wasn't even about you. Your domestic abuse is not even about you. You being stabbed up by your girlfriend, you wasn't stabbed up because you cheated. You got stabbed up because you the 20th person who cheated. He didn't kill you because you cheated. He killed you because he interpreted you cheating on him as a form of abandonment. You reminded him of his mother who abandoned him, and you had to die, not for your sins, but for the sins of his mother. You had to die, not for his sins, but for the sins of her mother. I'm dropping straight science on you. I am a psychological scientist, mental scientist par excellence. That's what I am. You out here dating men with anger problems. You out here dating women with insecurity problems. Those people ain't healthy. Sooner or later, they're going to self-destruct. And part of this self-destruction is going to be your destruction. I said you out here dating miserable ass men, black women, because he got money and a big stick. But he angry. He don't respect women. He's full of pain and hurt. And you think you just going to ignore that because he got the money and he got the body. Keep playing with your life. Keep playing with your life. Black man, you out here dating her because she got a fat ass and a pretty face. But you know she been sexually abused and never got help. She been beat up by her ex-husband, abandoned by her dad, rejected by her mom. She goes into angry spasms. She goes into suicidal ideation every week. And you ignoring it because she got the best cookies in Wilmington or she got the best Cinnabons in Detroit. Keep on playing around with your life. Keep on playing around with your life. Keep on playing around with your life and you end up dead in somebody's trunk. That was your karma, getting involved with spiritually unhealthy Africans. When Love Kills. I got a chapter in For Sisters Only called When Love Kills. I got a chapter in my upcoming For Sisters Only book called When Love Kills. How much should I charge for the For Sisters Only book, brothers and sisters? Never trust a big butt in a smile. Never trust a long Shango stick in a smile. Never trust a long Shango stick in a smile. Never trust a big butt in a smile. You better do a psychological assessment. You better do an emotional assessment. You better do a spiritual assessment. Be careful, brothers and sisters. Spiritual imbalance versus spiritual peace and prosperity. Spiritual imbalance versus spiritual peace and prosperity. Spiritual imbalance versus spiritual peace and prosperity. So the first reason that you're abusing your children and stepchildren is you still holding the grudge and the burden of the abuse you received in your own childhood. You haven't forgave. And if you haven't forgave, you're holding the grudge. You haven't forgave. And if you haven't forgave, you holding a grudge. The second reason, you will repeat the same abuse with your children and stepchildren. The second reason, you will repeat the abuse of your children and grandchildren. Is because you are jealous of your children and your stepchildren. We about to go real deep one time. Are y'all with me, African people? Are you with me? Black man, I need a fist or a crown. Black woman, I need a heart. We about to go real deep. For Sisters Only book will cost more than $33.33. No la cutie tootie. No la cutie tootie. If you think I'm selling For Sisters Only for $33.33, you out your mind, my beautiful African New Orleans queen. You are out of your mind, my beautiful African New Orleans queen. I think For Sisters Only is going for $50, just like Black Parent Advocate. I think my For Sisters Only book is going for $50, just like Black Parent Advocate. And then we're going to have a free raffle. Every sister who comes to For Sisters Only, we're going to do a free raffle. And you're going to get something free from King Kong Consciousness. But let me go deep one time. Let me go deep one time. Yes, sir, King Dr. Umar. Yes, sir. No problem, brother. Say, what's your ETA? No rush. What's your ETA? About 45? Okay. I see you when you get here. I'm right out front on the phone. Okay, brother. Peace. We getting work done. We got a school to build. My Jersey City, New Jersey queens, although I know my Newark, New Jersey queen's going to be there. And my Elizabeth, New Jersey City's going to, my Elizabeth, New Jersey City queens, and my Montclair, New Jersey queens. I know y'all going to be in Jersey City Tuesday. Y'all owe me birthday hugs and renovation completion hugs from all my northern New Jersey queens. I think some of my New York City queens is coming to Jersey City Tuesday for the free lecture. I think some of my New York City queens is coming to Jersey City for the free lecture Tuesday night at the Urban League of Hudson County, Jersey City, New Jersey. Let's go real deep one time. Hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit the Cash App. Hit the PayPal, International Africans. And the For Sisters Only tour will be international for my international African queens. I will not leave out London. I will not leave out Paris. I will not leave out my African queens, my South African queens. I will not leave out Canada. I will not leave out Jamaica. I will not leave out the Caribbean. My For Sisters Only tour will be, I will not leave out Australia. I will not leave out New Zealand. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let's go deep one time. Let's go deep one time. FDMG does not have Zelle. FDMG does not have Apple Pay. FDMG has Cash App, PayPal, check, money order. FDMG has Cash App, PayPal, check, money order. FDMG has Cash App, PayPal, check, money order. FDMG does not have Apple Pay or Zelle. If you don't, Learn from your childhood trauma. If you don't forgive your parents, you will be jealous of your children and stepchildren. Let me ask you a question, black man. I'm talking to my unapologetically African alpha males. Let me talk to my black man for one time. Black men, have you ever dated a woman who was jealous of how much you loved your daughter? I'm talking to black men. Black men, if you understand me, give me a fist. Black men, if you understand where I'm coming from, I'm talking to all the unapologetically African alpha males. Have you ever dated a woman who was jealous of how well you treated your daughter or treated her daughter? I'm talking to black men right now. Can I get a black fist? Can I get a black fist? Is there any black man who understands where I'm coming from? You date a woman with a daughter, and you treat her daughter like she's supposed to be treated, and the woman is jealous of you. Or you treat your own daughter by that woman like the princess she is, and your queen is jealous of how much you love and take care of your daughter. Are there any black men out there who understand what I'm talking about? Are there any black men who ever dated an African queen who got jealous of how good of a father you was to your daughter? Talk black to me, black man. Talk back to me, black man. I know I got black men out there who know where I'm coming from. I know there's black men out there who say, I'm treating our daughter the way I'm supposed to treat, but her mother jealous. You know why her mother jealous? Because her father didn't treat her the way you treating her daughter. She can't be happy for her daughter because she never faced her trauma. She can't be happy for her daughter because she never faced her trauma. If you want to send a personal donation, you can. But I need you to know personal donations are not FDMG donations. If you hit $ Dr. Umar Johnson, that's paying for a Philly cheesesteak tonight. If you hit $ Dr. Umar Johnson, that's paying for the next time I go to the bookstore and buy me something to read. You can send a personal donation to $ Dr. Umar Johnson or paypal.me/Umar the psychologist. You can send a personal donation to my Apple Pay and Zelle using my cell number 215-989-9858. But that is not FDMG donation. FDMG donation goes to $ FDMG school. FDMG donation go to paypal.me/FDMG academy. Now let me go to the black queens. Black woman, have you ever dated a man or had a baby with a man who was jealous of how well you treated your son or your daughter? Black woman, have you ever dated a man who was jealous of how well you took care of his son? Jealous of your son. Y'all might have had the son together, or you might be his son's stepmom, and he hated how good you treated his son. You know why? Why he's so jealous of how well you treating your 5-year-old son? Why is your man so jealous of how well you treating your 9-year-old son? Why is your man so jealous of how well you treating his 12-year-old son? You know why? Because his mother abused him. His mother put her boyfriend in front. His mother used to leave him at his grandmom, and he never faced the trauma. He never faced the abuse. He never confronted his mother in respect. He never confronted his mother in a respectful way. This is why people are jealous when you treat y'all children or their children well, because they jealous of the child. At a deep level, traumatized adults want their children and stepchildren to be abused like they were. At a deep level, traumatized adults want their children and stepchildren to be abused like they were. I'm going to say it again. At a deep level, traumatized adults want their children to be mistreated just like they were. Talk black to me if you understand where I'm coming from. Black sister, give me a heart if you ever dated a man who was jealous of how much you love his son or your son. Talk black to me, African queens. Talk black to me, African queens. Oh, yes. Y'all worrying about coochie and penis. Y'all worrying about coochie and penis. Y'all worrying about cars and clothing. Y'all worrying about cars and clothing. Y'all better start checking on emotions and spiritual health. Emotional health and spiritual health. You bet. Why am I yelling? I'm not yelling. I'm just confident. Critique me again and I'm going to block you. If you don't like me, why are you on my live? I don't understand it. I'm talking to donors and supporters. So why do I have Negro pins on my live? Why do I have snow bunny hoppers? If you are a snow bunny hopper, you should not be on my live. If you are a bunny hopper, you should not be on my live. I do not support snow bunny hopping, masculine or feminine. I don't support it. I don't support it. I don't care if you don't like me. I keep telling y'all, I'm not here to be liked. I know what my purpose is on this planet. I know what my destiny is in this world. I know what my function is in this universe. I wasn't born to make you like me. I was born to make you think. I am here to lead the intellectual and spiritual revolution for African people. You can like it or hate it. You can take it or leave it. I am here. I am the reincarnation of John Jacques Dessalines. I am the reincarnation of Nat Turner. I am the reincarnation of George Jackson. You can take it or you can leave it. You can take it or you can leave it. But my revolution is a little differently than theirs. My revolution is a psychological, it is an intellectual, it is a spiritual, it is an emotional revolution, brothers and sisters. Let's get into the third reason. Let's get into the third reason. Let's get into the third reason. So the first reason you're abusing your children and grandchildren, even though you didn't like it, is because you won't forgive your parents. Second reason, you jealous of your children and your stepchildren. And third reason, you have been cursed with the demon of child abuse. You have to exorcise the demon of child abuse from your spirit and your soul. That's right. You got to exorcise the demon of child abuse from your spirit and your soul. I will come to Dayton, Ohio, when you invite me to Dayton, Ohio. I will come to Tampa, Florida, when you invite me to Tampa, Florida. Invitations can be text messaged 215-989-9858. Invitations can be text messaged 215-989-9858. Invitations can be emailed Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com, DRUMARJOHNSON at yahoo.com. Pittsburgh, I was in Pittsburgh in April. Was that last year or this year? Was I in Pittsburgh last year or this year? I can't even remember. I'm coming back to Cameroon. My Cameroonian Africans, hold tight. I'll be back in a minute. My Liberian Africans, where's the invitation? Where's the invitation? Cincinnati Africans, where's the invitation? Nigeria Africans, where's the invitation? I want to come to New York on the 30th of this month to give a free 13th anniversary lecture. If you live in New York City, Black Power. If you live in New York City and you have a space for Dr. Umar to come do a free lecture on October the 30th, let me know. October the 30th is my 13th anniversary of being the #1 Black conscious personality, scholar, leader, organizer on the planet Earth. October 30, New York City. Let's do a 13-year anniversary lecture. New York City, if you got a place for the lecture, hit me up, 215-989-9858. October 30th, I'm trying to be in New York City on my 13th anniversary of my New York City debut. Oh, that's Sister Val. I didn't know who that was. I need somebody who does African wall print paper. I need African wallpaper. If you know any black man, black woman that does African wallpaper, tell them to get in contact with Dr. Umar. I need some African print, different kinds of African print wallpaper. I need different kinds of African print wallpaper. Please text me if you do African print wallpaper. 215-989-9858. African print wallpaper. 215-989. I need African print wallpaper. Does anybody know anybody who does African print wallpaper? 215-989-9858. I need African print wallpaper. 215-989-9858. This is King Kong. One love.